Grand risings, everyone. It's a beautiful day outside. Sitting out here trying to get my vitamin D. Anyway, so today I decided, I was like, since I'm new to TikTok and I have all of these new followers, that I should go on here and actually go over my journey to where I am now. And maybe that can help inspire other people besides myself to get out here and, seek the knowledge, check it out. Don't give up, because it's very, 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 very scary sometimes to people, especially when you're used to all the spookism that they give you in Christianity and things like that, with, trying to scare you into submission. So, a lot of things may seem or appear scary or frightening at first, but it's really not. Once you actually find out the knowledges behind these things that we've been told and what their actual meanings are and what the actual teachings that came along with these concepts were, then all of that actually goes out the window. And no God that would reside over an entire planet would need people to fear it. That just would be crazy. So that's the first thing we have to unlearn, that God is not fear. God is love. And love is the highest frequency. Here on this planet, I'll say, because I believe that there are higher frequencies as the higher that you go. So this is just one area of the whole spectrum. This is just one area. So I'm gonna go into how I got to where I am. And as you see, I'm sitting under some big, beautiful trees. Sitting under some big, beautiful trees. And this is, again, a real live video, live at 5. Anyway, every day you wake up, you have to find some kind of meaning. You have to find some kind of motivation, because if you don't, then you'll let the struggles of this life take you down, and you can't do that. Every day you have to find something to keep going for, because you have a purpose every day that you are here. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And there's a car passing by. Okay, anyway. So back to what I was saying. So I grew up in the church and Christianity. Both of my parents are Church of Christ still right now. And that is the religion that I grew up in from the time I was a little girl all the way up till about 2000 and maybe about 2010. I kind of started like pulling away. I was still Church of Christ, but I had kind of like stopped attending church. But anyway, so I grew up in a big household. I have, it's 9 of us, so I have a big family, 5 boys and 4 girls. And so we all had to go to church. We went to school, home church, and to our grandparents' house. That was our routine on a regular basis. So we already knew every week what we were going to be doing. And church was going to definitely be at the top of the list. So like a lot of us that are going through this process, we grew up, a lot of us came from different aspects, but that's because, in order for you to awaken, you had to go through a certain, how do you put it? You had to go through a certain transition, metamorphosis, if you want to say. Some of us had to come through the Church of Christ. Some of us were Muslims before. Some of us came from Hebrew Israelites and went a different direction. So we are all coming from different directions, but like the Bible says, we're going to be at the 4 corners of the earth. It's a reason for that. And that just means that we are going to be gathered together, although we're scattered all over the world. Eventually, you'll be coming together, you know, in like mind. So, in spirit. And so anyway, so I grew up going to church every Sunday, pretty much every time the doors were open. If it was something going on, I was going to try to be there. Sunday school, vacation Bible school. As I got into my adulthood, I still continued to do that. And I was also in the choir. I was in a group called Reflections, and sang with them, sang by myself. My little brothers and I and sisters, we had our little group at one time that our mom had put together for us to sing with. So let that truck go on and pass. Anyway, so I grew up singing in the church, singing for Jesus, all this stuff that, you know, that we do, taking communion, all these things. So when people ask, well, you know, how do you know that this is even true? How do you know that what you know is facts? Well, first off, you have to read, which is what a lot of us do not want to do. You have to read. You have to read, and then you also have to comprehend. And then once comprehension comes into play, you have to more so than anything, you have to discern. You have to go within and ask spirit, your inner spirit, does this sound right? Because really, to be honest and truthful, that's what we do not listen to. We neglect that side of ourselves. And doing so, we put ourselves at risk. So when people ask, well, where was God during slavery? God was right there. I'm going to say it again. God was right there doing slavery. He was doing the same thing that he's doing right now, speaking to us through our inner selves. Many times we ignore the inner man or the inner woman. Due to that, we put ourselves in jeopardy. We put ourselves in jeopardy. A lot of people gonna be mad at me for saying that. No, I'm not condoning no kind of slavery. I'm the most rebellious person when it comes to some stuff like that. But what I'm saying is we put ourselves in jeopardy is just like Harriet Tubman said. If she could have, you know, she would have freed more slaves if they would have known that they were. So that's how we put ourselves in jeopardy, by not knowing that we are enslaved. Ignoring the fact that we are enslaved. So no one can save you if you don't want to save yourself. So you have to want to save yourself. And everybody don't want to be saved. And that's something that we're experiencing right now. I know my makeup looking a little funny or whatever. It's early in the morning. I put this on early. Y'all forgive me. I'm sorry. It's bright. It's early. Just don't turn me up too bad. Anyway. So God, as we call it, is always present. It's all about how we access God. Now, the New Testament tells us that God is within, but we continue to seek without. And we're afraid to go within. We think going within is evil and wicked. Now, if God said he in you, how is that wicked? It makes no sense. See, these are questions that I had when I was in church. And then when I would go to the brothers in the church and ask questions like these, you know, well, why is this that way? And why, you know, it was always some blow off stuff. Well, why y'all don't talk about Revelation, since that is very important, you know, in the end times? Oh, it's too much symbolism there. Don't you think the people need to know about the symbolism? So most of the times we're told don't question God. I don't see anywhere throughout the Bible where it says do not question God. So who made that up? Man did. And since man made that up, that means man can now tell you anything because he has made himself God over you, when you are actually God over yourself, because God is within you. And so is the devil. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. The devil is within you as well, because just like you have a higher self, you have a lower self as well. And that lower self is your devil. That's your adversary. That's against you, because you can also be against yourself. A lot of people sabotage relationships, careers. They sabotage a lot of things out here. And that's the devil. That's an adversary. That's someone that's against you. And you can be your own devil. That's crazy. And a lot of people are their own devil. And when we don't seek the things we need to seek in order to know the things we need to know, we're becoming our own devil. And this is what they won't teach us in these religions and these churches. They're not going to teach you that. Okay, so back to me. Anyway, so I went from the Church of Christ, and around 2012, that's when I pretty much came away from church altogether. I hadn't really been going to church at all around that time. And so I was in my house and cleaning up, and I still had a Bible in my house. And my children's, my ex-husband's dad had left a Bible. And it actually, I was putting it up, and it had fallen on the floor. So I picked it up, and when I picked it up, it was at the back of the book. The pages were at the back of the book. And it was stating how someone had removed the name of God out the Bible and all of this. I'm like, what? And I just got instantly angry. I just got so angry. I was so angry. I wanted to fight. And I was like, who in the hell told them to take this out? Yes, I said hell. Hell is not a bad word. We say it all the time. It's in the Bible. Anyway, so I was so angry about that. And so I just started looking online and researching and stuff like that. And then the universe ended up bringing around, because I was doing music at that time. I ran into my manager at that time, and he introduced me to the Hebrew Israelites teachings. And he was telling me about, how the name was changed, and the name was Ahia, Ashur, Ahia. And I was like, wow, so this is what they changed. This is what they was trying to keep. So I started doing research on the Hebrew Israelites. Even at one time, I had contacted my family, and I was telling my family everything about how we were lied to and this and that. And yes, people thought I was crazy. I was a devil. I'm a demon. All that stuff that they say about you when you're looking into things and you're moving with the actual spirit and not what man has tried to impose upon you. So I was getting crucified just like Christ, as people say, for speaking up and telling people about what was going on. So I had went and I started doing more research. And then I ended up running into a guy from Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he had a radio show there, and he needed a co-host. So he asked me to come online, and we came online, and we did a show called Rhythm and Poetry for about 3 years. And I co-hosted with him, and what we actually did was we went into all the books of the Bible with the concordance, the Strong's Concordance. We used the old King James Bible, everyone. We used the Dead Sea Scrolls, the 1611, and we went in there and we broke down each one of those scriptures for everybody to hear. And those teachings and those Recordings are still on Blog Talk Radio. If you look for Rhythm and Poetry, they're still out there if you want to go and listen to them. But it actually tells you, it shows you what's being stated. And then it also goes into the old texts that they did remove, and we started going into those. And the more I started going into that, researching from the concordance, I started to see that none of the information that they taught us was how it actually was being shown in the Bible. And a lot of the things that we were told was actually things that were made up and not actually in the Bible. So specific things like come as you are to church and things like that, none of that's in there. Women can't teach. If we're gonna go there on that, I can do a whole post on the women can't teach thing. And we had so many women that were teaching and even ruling over Israel. So we can't even. Please don't bring that one up, because yeah, I already got some fire for that. Women was teaching all over Israel, so stop it for all y'all talking about women can't teach. Anyway, so that was another thing I couldn't get with in these religions. And how can you not have a woman? A woman is always gonna be there. You can't get rid of the woman. Look at the world. That's why it's like it is, because you're trying to get rid of the woman, because there is no woman. There's no balance. But anyway, so so I ended up on the show Rhythm and Poetry. And after I got to doing more research, I contacted my fellow brother, and I just told him, look, I'm going to have to resign from the show because I can no longer participate in the Hebrew teachings, knowing what I've known, and after the research that I found, researching and seeing that it's bigger than what this is too, and that even this is leading to, it's information, but it's misinformation because it's not all the truth. So look at it like this. There's esoteric and there's exoteric knowledge. And as long as you understand that this is a dual planet, that everything here is duality, you understand why there is good and why there is evil. And both can be looked at from different aspects or different perspectives. A pencil per se can be good. It can write a beautiful love letter, but it also can be evil. You can stick someone in the eye and put someone's eye out. So when people say, well, how can you do the things that you do as far as being into African spirituality and studying things like that, how can you do those things and still think that that you can find God? Well, first off, again, God is within me. It's within me. Just like I'm looking out here and I can see a tree, I can see grass, I can see a sky and a sun, and all of those are God. And that sun gets hot, and people die from that sun too. So there you go. Anyway, so so after I got to doing more studying and things like that, I started learning more and growing more spiritually. Spirit started leading me. I went on a complete fast, and I started fasting for weeks and weeks at a time. And I started losing a lot of weight because I was doing so much fasting, because I was just trying to go within and find information, and information was just coming to me just from out, just all over, just coming to me. So when people started talking about, well, you have to do what the pastor said, and you have to know there is no middleman. You can go directly to God. Close your eyes and meditate. Jesus meditated, y'all. He meditated in his closet. In his closet. You didn't see him. Y'all say, disciples, come on with me. We about to go to church. Come on. And then it's so much other information that they did hide in the book of Jubilees, in the books of Enoch's, the book of Jasher, the Maccabees, all of those books. Get those books and start reading them. You'll find out a whole lot more information too. It's not really hard. This information is not mine. Let me say that first. It's not my information. It's information that's been available for centuries. Just been hidden. Now we're at an age where it's coming on out. Now you can have access to it. And now you have access to it, you should take it upon yourself to look into it at least. Don't believe anything I say. I'm not looking for, I'm not looking to start a church. This is not a Jim Jones type of thing going on over here. I want to connect with like-minded people who want to learn and grow as I do. But at the same time, I'm not dealing with anything on a negative frequency. If you want some negative stuff, you can stay where you at. I don't have time for that. And that's at all aspects of my life. And sometimes we have to cut people off, and that's okay. We can love with a long handle spoon. That doesn't make us a bad person. You know, this walk can be very lonely. It can be very stressful sometimes because you're learning all of this information, and it's like sometimes it's so much coming in at one time. It's a lot to handle, but that's okay. Just keep on going, because eventually it will all make sense. And that's what we need to understand. If it does not make sense, question it at all times, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. And I do research upon my research, upon my research, upon my research. That's how I know. And I don't just do the research. I sit and I ask my spirit, which is God within me, for answers, to show me. And God doesn't always speak to us through words. It could be through thought. It could be through people, through someone else that has already found the knowledge, or somebody that's learning it. We have to put our ego to the side, and we can't think we're too big to learn. And this is why I call myself Mystic Bae, because I am a mystic. I'm an alchemist. I'm an infinite being, constantly learning and growing, never to stop learning and growing. That's God. In order for God to know everything, it would have to be infinite, and it would have to be constantly learning and growing. Come on, people. We have to just, we got to use our nugget. The temples of God. And what's between those temples, which is the eye. If our eye be single, it'd be what? It'd be full of light. The light of God. So just, man, that sun is out. And I'm out here getting it too. So, yeah, trying to get my sunshine. Yeah, people are like, okay, so you studied all of that and everything, and what about all these people on YouTube? What about them? Again, you study everything. And just because somebody is on YouTube don't mean that they don't have an agenda. Some people do, some people don't. And you have to use discernment to know who does have the agenda. So, this is why you can look at a person pretty much off the information that they're pushing, and take it in consideration, and you'll be like, okay, all right, so you saying this, that, and this, let me go research that, and go research it. Compared to the research you have. Is it adding up, or is it taking away? Is it coming together? That's the question. Is it bridging a gap? If it's not bridging a gap, That means you might need to take it and put it on the shelf for later. Maybe it'll resonate, maybe it won't. It might be something you can bring up later on to show a subject. Maybe not. You're not gonna know. Maybe something you might just need to throw away altogether because you know that's a lot. So fear is the one thing. I'm so glad that I don't let rule over me, because that is what religion does. It makes you fearful. And that's how you get your power back, by not being fearful. How's the oppressor able to rule over you? He keeps you in fear. But once you understand that God is in you, no need to fear. Just wanted to put that out. As far as where I'm at now, I study everything. Everything. I leave no stone unturned. I study everything and all things so that I am aware of everything and all things that go on around me. I want to be aware of everything. Everything that I can be aware of, everything that I can learn. I love African spirituality. Go back to your culture. That's my best advice. Go back to where your ancestors were and do the things that they did, as long as it was right. Because just because it was something the ancestors did don't mean it was right. I mean the things that was right. So let me throw that in also. Start giving offerings back to your ancestors. That is not evil, and it's not worshiping. We don't worship anything. That's our problem. We always want to worship. I'm going to say it again. God is within you. You. He does not dwell, or she does not dwell in anything made with a hand. So that would be a building, right? The temple is you. The temple. Go in that temple. Sit with that temple. Close your eyes. And just take in what's around you. And tune that out. Let your thoughts just pass by until you hear complete silence. A lot of times that's what's wrong with us. We just don't have silence. We got so much going on, bills and worrying about the kids and worrying about our spouses and worrying about the boyfriend and the girlfriend and the job, and just we just don't have any time for quiet. Let's start listening to the quiet. What's being said during the quiet? So no matter what it is, that's where God is going to reside. And once you learn these things, you learn different methods of protection for yourself to protect your body from harm. Because harm is all around you every day. You can't protect yourself if you don't know how. And so when people ask, where was God during slavery? Again, I just answered the question. When people refuse God, God can't help you, can it? That's just like walking around down here right now. If somebody was in need of food, and I go to that person to try to help them get food, and they refuse my food, I can't help them. They don't want my help. Yeah, they don't want my help. So the help is there. We perish for lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. That's why we perish. Not because God is not there, because we lack the knowledge. And we're lacking the knowledge because it was hidden. And then now that it is available, many of us are rejecting the knowledge. We don't even want to look it up. That's being lazy. But you'll go sit at a church for an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 or 4 hours, and let a man stand in front of you and tell you what God said. And he ain't read but 2 scriptures out of that book. And you just going off of what he told you. How do you know what he told you is true? Many of you haven't researched it. That's just the facts. Think about this. They tell you don't practice witchcraft. Now, anything dealing with witchcraft is evil. But they don't tell you that the pharmacia that you take every day for your blood pressure medicine, your diabetes medicine, is the witchcraft. That's what witchcraft is, pharmacia. It's not healing yourself. It's pharmacia. Or look what that is. See what that is. And it's a Greek word too. Go look it up. It's in your Revelations book. All through there. That's why they won't teach it to you. That's why they won't show it to you. I'm not telling you not to take your high blood pressure medicine. I'm just letting you know that evidently witchcraft cannot be that evil. People running out here to get that medicine. And you still go back to church. So you can't say that you're going to heaven if you sinning against God. Let y'all tell it for practicing witchcraft. See how that doesn't make sense? That does not make any kind of sense. Anything is wrong when you are messing with a person's free will. Anything. That's what witchcraft is. Witchcraft is telling people to take a communion on a Sunday, the day of the sun. Now, keep that in mind. The day of the sun, partaking in a communion where you imagine that you're eating Jesus's flesh by partaking of a cracker and pretending that you're drinking his blood by drinking wine or grape juice. And wasn't it, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that Paul that said if you think it, so you do it? That's cannibalism, people. That is witchcraft. Look it up. That's called a blood ritual. Every Sunday you partake in a blood ritual. And also the original day of worship was Saturday, the day of Saturn. And it was changed later to Sunday. So it's a lot of things that I can go over as to why I have left the church, why I am no longer in the church and participate in religion, period. God is within you. Psalms 82:6. Ye are gods. Jesus even said that it's in the law that ye are gods. That's in your New Testament, people. Go read it. Stop making excuses and go read. That's something that you able to do that your ancestors were not. Let Massa tell it. So since you have access, go read. What's it gonna hurt you? What's it gonna hurt you? Or are you afraid that you may find out that we who are talking about this are actually right? Or is it that you just don't want to do the work to correct what needs to be corrected within yourself, so you can quit walking around blaming the devil? We all have work to do. I'm doing mine as well. Every day. Trust me. Every day. I have to stay on it. And so do you. So I just wanted to put that out there. So when people be asking like, why? That's why. That's why. And the truth will set you free. At the end of the day, it will set you free. So many books out here. Also, the Lost Book of Enki. You can go on and check out the Nag Hammadi scriptures. If you just wanted to go there, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and so many other books that go into detail on all of these things. The Emerald Tablets of Thought. All of the pseudepigrapha books. They're all available on Amazon and very reasonable price. So, no excuses, people. Read. Okay, so thank y'all so much for tuning in. And again, I'm going to sit out here and give me some sun and do some more things and get my day going. And I hope you all have a grand day, and happy hump day to you. And I will see y'all later. Bye.